The wrong campervan won't just waste your money, it'll slowly ruin your retirement. And the scary part? Most seniors don't realize it until they're 6 months in, $40,000 deep, and too embarrassed to admit the mistake. Today I'm giving you the 5 cheap campervans that actually hold up, not just in the showroom, but at 6 a.m. when your knees hurt, when the heating fails in October, and when you're trying to park in a campsite that wasn't designed for the vehicle your dealer convinced was perfect. And before we get to the list, there's one van that people treat like the gold standard for senior buyers: Ford Transit-based builds. They look great on paper, they photograph beautifully, and they cause more buyer regret in the senior market than almost anything else I track. I'll explain exactly why. We'll come back to that after van number 2. Stay with me. Some of you will ignore what I'm about to say, and you'll understand it's 6 months after you've already lost the money. Let's go. The number that should scare you. Before I name a single van, write this down: $8,400. That is the average first-year hidden cost that senior campervan buyers don't account for at purchase. The sticker price looks manageable, then comes the leveling system, the replacement mattress, the generator fault, the plumbing seal, the awning motor. Quietly, methodically, the affordable van becomes the most expensive decision of the year. At 70, you don't get 5 chances to fix a bad purchase. This isn't a car you park in the driveway and forget about. This is how you will live your days. That changes the math on everything, and it's the lens I've used to build this entire list. Every van here was chosen because it minimizes that bleed. Some won't eliminate it completely, but smart buyers factor it in before signing anything. Let's get into it. Van number 5. Winnebago Micro Minnie USA Focus. Entry price $28,000 to $38,000 used, 2018 to 2021. Most people overlook the Micro Minnie. That's a mistake, and it's costing them. Here's what the Micro Minnie solves that almost nothing else in this price range does. It's built on a Ford Transit chassis with a fixed residential length bed and the deepest independent mechanic network in North America underneath it. Let's break down why that combination matters more than it sounds. Ford Transit mechanics exist in every state, not just in cities, in small towns, in rural areas, on the roads where seniors actually travel. When something goes wrong at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday in rural Tennessee, the difference between a Ford chassis and a specialty platform is the difference between a $300 repair and a $3,000 tow plus a 2-week wait. That mechanic network has a real dollar value. Most buyers never assign one to it. Smart buyers do. The fixed bed is the second reason this van belongs on the list. 74 inches, residential length, no conversion required. You walk in, you lie down. That sounds simple. It isn't. I've spoken to senior buyers who spent $45,000 on a van with a gorgeous interior and spent 3 months fighting a bed that required lifting cushions, folding mechanisms, and a specific sequence just to sleep. At 65 or 70, that daily friction is not a minor inconvenience. It's a nightly reminder that you bought the wrong van. The Micro Minnie eliminates that problem entirely. Now, the honest part. The kitchen is genuinely small. If you're cooking real meals on extended off-grid trips, you will feel it. The bathroom is functional but tight, and 2018 to 2019 production years had reported slide seal failures on units with the optional slide. If you're shopping that range, get the slide inspected specifically, not as part of a general walkthrough, as a dedicated inspection point. Buy it if you want ease of daily living, Ford mechanical access, and don't need a full kitchen. Snowbirds, part-time travelers, couples doing 2 to 4 week trips. Avoid it if you're full-timing with daily cooking or if you have mobility challenges that require wider walkways. Van number 4. Roller Team Auto Roller 707 Europe Focus. Entry price €32,000 to €42,000, used, 2017 to 2020. Now this next van, most European buyers dismiss it the moment they hear the name. They see Italian built and they move on. That snap judgment is exactly why smart buyers are quietly winning with it right now. Before a discussion about man, we need a plan. The Auto Roller 707 is an A-class motorhome that consistently undervalues against its German competitors by 15 to 25% in the used market. Not because it's worse, because buyer perception hasn't caught up with the reality, and you can profit from that gap right now before everyone else figures it out. What you actually get: a Fiat Ducato base, a rear island bed, a full bathroom with genuine separation, and a kitchen that has real counter space. The floor plan handles something that sounds minor but isn't. At 3 a.m. when one partner needs the bathroom, they can get there without climbing over the other. I hear this complaint constantly from senior couples who bought poorly designed layouts. The 707 eliminates that by design. Now, the controversial part. The Fiat Ducato 2.3-liter multi-jet engine in the 2017 to 2020 build window has stronger long-term reliability numbers than the Mercedes Sprinter engine in the same used price bracket. That will upset Sprinter loyalists, but at this price point, Sprinter buyers are frequently purchasing someone else's high-mileage problems at a premium. Ducato buyers in this range are often getting lower mileage, better-maintained units at a fraction of the badge cost. The Sprinter premium is real when you're buying new. In the used market at this price, it's mostly brand psychology, and you're the one paying for it. Weak points. 100-liter fresh water capacity is modest for full timing, and roof lights and shower seals are the most common water ingress points. Inspect them specifically, not generally. Buy it if you're a European senior buyer who wants a full residential bed, proper kitchen, genuine bathroom without German brand pricing. Avoid it if you need more than 2 berths or the nameplate matters more to you than the value.
Now this next one, this is where most people's ego costs them money. They see Thor, they remember the headlines about quality issues, and they walk away feeling smart. What they've actually done is disqualify one of the best value plays in the American senior campervan market, based on information that no longer applies to the vehicle they're looking at. Here's the insight. Yes, Thor had documented quality control problems in 2018 and 2019. That is true. But by the time you're buying a 2017 through 2021 Four Winds 22B in the $25,000 to $32,000 range, those problems have already been found, flagged, and fixed by a previous owner, usually under warranty, at zero cost to you. You are buying the corrected version of the vehicle at the pre-correction price. You let someone else absorb the manufacturing risk, then you stepped in after the problems were solved. That is how smart buyers operate. The 22B runs on a Ford E450 chassis. Mechanics everywhere, parts everywhere. The cab-over sleeping area gives senior couples a dedicated bedroom that is physically separated from the living space. That privacy and separation adds $15,000 to $20,000 to competing Class A options. On the Four Winds 22B, it comes standard. The overhead storage is generous in a way that senior buyers specifically call out because it eliminates the daily frustration of crouching, bending, and hunting through low-access compartments in a tight living space. The dinette converts for additional sleeping, which matters when grandchildren visit. The bathroom is full service. The problems are real. 10 to 12 miles per gallon. Highway travel adds up fast. And this is not a city vehicle. Tight campground sites and urban parking will test your patience. But for seniors doing national park routes and open road travel, the Four Winds 22B delivers a daily living experience that its price tag has no right to offer. Buy it if senior couples doing longer distance American road trips who want genuine sleeping and living space separation, anyone who occasionally hosts family. Avoid it if urban travelers, fuel cost-sensitive buyers, anyone who needs a nimble, easy-to-park vehicle.
Van number 2. Adria Twin Supreme 640 SLB Europe Focus. Entry price, €38,000 to €52,000 used, 2018 to 2022. Here's where we need to talk about something that every senior campervan buyer thinks they want, and that many of them genuinely shouldn't have. The double island bed. It looks luxurious. It photographs beautifully. Dealers love showing it to senior couples because it photographs like a hotel room and sells on emotion. And for many senior couples, it is the wrong choice. Here's why. A double island bed means two people sharing the same surface, the same entry and exit point, the same firmness, the same disturbance cycle. At 30, that's fine. At 65 or 70, when sleep quality is already harder to maintain, that shared surface becomes a nightly negotiation. One person gets up, both people wake up. One person runs hot, the other runs cold. Small things, until you're living them every night for months. The Adria Twin Supreme 640 SLB solves this with a side-long bed layout. Two singles running along the sides of the vehicle, aisle between them. Each person has independent entry and exit, their own firmness, their own reading light, their own undisturbed sleep. The number of senior couples who buy a double island bed, live in it for 3 months, and quietly wish they'd chosen singles, that number is higher than any manufacturer will ever publish. The rest of the 640 SLB earns its position. Fiat Ducato base, full separated bathroom, 3-burner hob, and a properly sized fridge, and the garage storage underneath the rear beds, waist-height access, no bending, no lifting. For senior buyers, that is not a luxury feature, that is a daily physical reality that compounds over hundreds of mornings. The financial case. Adria's residual values consistently outperform Italian competitors in this price bracket. You're buying a van that will be easier to sell, closer to what you paid. For buyers on a fixed income, exit value is not a secondary consideration. It is part of the total cost calculation from day one. Pre-2020 suspension comfort was criticized by taller drivers. The 2020 refresh addressed it. If you're buying earlier, drive it on a real road, not a forecourt, before committing. Buy it if senior couples who want genuine sleeping independence, strong resale value, and low-access practical storage. Avoid it if you specifically want a double bed or you need an occasional third berth. Now for the explanation of the Ford Transit I promised you. Transit-based campervan conversions dominate the aspirational senior buyer market for one reason. They look clean, minimal, and manageable. The problem is that most of them are exactly that, conversions, not purpose-built motorhomes. That means variable build quality, inconsistent insulation, wildly different electrical systems, and almost no standardized warranty support. When something fails, and something always fails, you're not calling a manufacturer, you're tracking down whoever did the conversion and hoping they're still in business. For a senior buyer who wants reliability, predictability, and a clear support chain, that is a serious structural risk dressed up in aesthetic clothing. These vans are purpose-built. That distinction has a dollar value. Now, the final one. Van number 1. Leisure Travel Vans Unity U24, USA North America focus. Entry price, $65,000 to $85,000 used, 2017 through 2021. If you skip past this van because of the price, you're probably going to overpay, and I don't say that lightly. Before you move on, give me 90 seconds, because what I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about the word cheap, and it might be the most valuable 90 seconds in this entire video. Here's the math that the industry won't explain to you. A 2017 Unity U24 MB purchased at $75,000, owned for 4 years, sold at $62,000. Total depreciation cost, $13,000 over 4 years. That is $3,250 per year. Now run the same calculation on a budget Class C at $34,000. Year 1 depreciation, $6,000 to $8,000. Year 2, another $5,000 to $6,000. By year 4, you've lost $18,000 to $22,000 on a van that cost less than half as much. The Unity wins the total cost comparison, not marginally, significantly. The sticker price is the most expensive thing about it. The ownership experience is not. But the financial case is only half the story, and for senior buyers, the other half might matter more. The U24 MB was designed around how people actually live in a small space. The Murphy bed folds away to create a full functioning living room during the day. When you sleep, it is a real bed, not a compromise. The bathroom is full service. The kitchen has genuine working counter space. The driving experience on a Mercedes Sprinter platform for a vehicle of this capability is car-like in a way that nothing else on this list can match. This is the van where senior buyers stop complaining. I've heard it described repeatedly by people who previously owned cheaper options as the first time van life felt like a deliberate choice rather than a series of daily compromises. The hard truth is, if you have access to $65,000 in the used market, buying anything cheaper is almost certainly a financial mistake, not because the cheaper vans are terrible, but because the Unity's depreciation curve, its reliability profile, and its daily livability score combine to make it the highest value purchase in this entire category. Limitation worth knowing, Sprinter service is less universally accessible than Ford networks, though the gap has narrowed significantly. Good used Unity examples move fast. If you find a well-documented one, don't wait. Buy it if senior buyers with $65,000 to $85,000 who plan serious use over 3 to 6 years. Anyone who prioritizes total cost over entry cost optics. Avoid it if budget-only buyers, infrequent users, anyone who needs more than 2 berths. This is the truth about the senior campervan market, and it's not comfortable. Most buyers in this space are optimizing for the wrong number. They minimize sticker price and ignore total ownership cost. They buy vans that look good in brochures and fail them at 6 a.m. They make emotional decisions dressed up as practical ones, and they spend the next 2 or 3 years quietly living with the consequences of a purchase they can't easily undo. This is not a car decision. At this stage of life, a bad purchase doesn't just cost money, it costs months, sometimes years of the exact lifestyle you spent decades working towards, and that is a cost that no depreciation calculator will ever show you. These 5 vans were chosen because they minimize that risk. Not because dealers push them, not because they photograph well, because they solve the real problems: daily livability, mechanical access on real roads, exit value in a real market, and physical ease in a real body on real mornings for real years. Buy smart, not cheap. There's a difference, and now you know exactly what it is. One question before you go. Be honest. Which one of these 5 would you actually spend your own money on? And which one do you think I completely misjudged? Put it in the comments. I read every one. And if enough people challenge the same pick, I'll make a dedicated video and either defend my position with data or publicly change my mind. That's a standing offer. Let's find out where we disagree.